The hosts feel it would be a little unkind to present this podcast without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to. Well, we've warned you. Hello, and welcome once again to the Frankencast. I'm the mad scientist, Anthony Bowman. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm joined as always by...
the Dude Bro Party Massacre on campus, that is Eric Velasquez. My pronouns are also he, him. Putting some Stein kills references in there, baby. Nah.
Yeah, so Frankenstein, the college years. I gotta say, this surprised me. Like, I expected to run into a lot of things where we had to be like, okay, it was the, late 80s, early 90s. We'll have to give them a pass on this kind of that we often run into in movies from this time period. But
there's like one.
Yeah, it does a pretty good job with all of the kind of like gender politics and sexuality amongst young people in college and stuff.
Right.
A lot of that can get pretty dicey. You end up in like, Animal House, Porky's kind of territory.
Right.
But this manages to, and it's not even just like that it avoids it. It's in here, but it's like handled well.
Which is surprising.
It's very like surprising.
We regressed. I mean, I guess is what it is, right? Whenever you progress so much, there's always this like reaction to pull it back. Mm-hmm. Maybe don't do that anymore. Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Just let it fly.
And it's not that this is like super... PC, our main character is a class clown. He's into trouble. Like, there's a lot of stuff that, like, he's doing bad things, but, like, he's having a good time, and it's, like, not, none of the bad stuff he's doing feels like at other people's expense, other than, like, this one asshole professor that we love to hate and everything, but, just, unexpectedly, like, cool in ways that I was not ready for in this.
Like, if this movie was slightly more serious, I feel like the main character would have been the villain. And like legit, this is just a couple incidents away from a Reanimator, where the main character is almost Herbert West, and his main sidekick is almost Dan.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's like able to learn. Like, I guess we should get into it. We're getting into like where it goes, but like. Just all around really surprising how this progresses.
But because this is the late 80s, early 90s, we still haven't developed an actual taste in music, so we're still stuck in the 50s with the twist.
Yeah, we have like, it's a lightning storm, a science lab, and then we have like a hand that's just like adjusting dials and knobs, and then it turns
on the
out
radio.
Yeah, it's not science lab equipment. It's just a radio that starts blasting Do the Twist.
Right. I feel like this is either like the most enjoyable experience of this guy's like night, or it's the saddest because he's like having a party, but it's literally by himself.
Yeah. He's just he's dancing around. He's in a lab coat that has like something kind of like airbrushed on the back of it.
Yeah, he's drinking potions, quote unquote, beer probably, and he also has a giant beer bong.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, when this scene was playing, I was like, okay, this doesn't seem like it's going to be our Frankenstein, like, but because he seems kind of weird and he's like older, and I was like, maybe this is like the Igor, but no, we'll eventually find out this is a professor.
Lipziger.
Professor Lipziger, who is sort of our Frankenstein type character's professor.
Right. He's the Walden?
Kind of, yeah. But so, we have him dancing, and then we just, like, cut to, like,
establishing shots of a college campus, students walking around the quad and everything. And then we have a student giving his presentation in front of the class.
Right. Apparently it's the most boring thing ever.
Yeah, he's just straight up your stereotype nerd from this time period. He's got his hair's sticking up really bad on one side. He's got a really nasally, stuffy nose voice and is blowing his nose a bunch. And yeah, his presentation it's just about glucose or something. It's not really pertinent or anything.
By the way, what a time when allergies were a sign of weakness. Man.
Yeah. But so once he finishes his presentation, the lights come up and everybody in the entire class is asleep.
Right. Including Lipziger.
Yeah. But then someone goes over to wake up the professor, and no, he's not asleep. He's dead.
It literally bored him to death.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So
immediately cut to the funeral. It's like they just took him out and put him in his own casket.
Yeah. So the funeral is happening it seems on campus, and we'll meet a professor here, Professor Lohman, who's giving the eulogy. And this guy was I think the only person in this that I recognized really.
Larry Miller.
Yeah, he's done stand-up comedy, and he's that guy that just shows up in a lot of sitcoms and stuff.
He usually plays maybe not necessarily the villain, but definitely the stick in the mud dean or professor, or authority figure for kids.
Yeah, he just has this face that he just looks like an asshole. And it just that he always ends up.
He's not a punchable asshole. I feel like you could punch him, sure, but his face doesn't immediately make you want to punch him, but you could still tell he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so he's kind of given the eulogy, and it's one of those things where he's really talking up how he was really close with Professor Lipziger, but it also sounds
everyone's
maybe
bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't ring true. And then when he finishes his eulogy, he's okay, and now we have to welcome Professor Lipziger's number one
assistant.
Pupil, his lab assistant, and he's you could tell he is really dreading letting this happen, but I guess it's in the will or whatever. We got to do it. So we're gonna welcome Mark Chrisman to the stage.
Right. And I love how he's just this is Gen X. I don't give a fuck. With the what are they? Almost X-ray specs.
Yeah, the back of the comic book, just cheap-ass X-ray specs. He's wearing those as he walks up, and then he, takes them off, folds them up, and puts them in his pocket, and takes out real glasses that he puts on instead to read his speech.
Yeah, what a time when X-ray specs were an actual accessory that young adults wore. Or at least what Hollywood thought young adults wore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so his eulogy is, for the most part, it seems pretty... sincere. He clearly did have a relationship with Professor Lipziger, and did care about him a lot. But he is still, like you said, he's kind of too cool for school guy or whatever. And the main sort of gag in this bit is the way that everything wraps up, where he's I'm just gonna take the day and just really spend it in a way that I feel would truly honor Professor Lipziger and the things that he valued and all. He's I really just want to pay my respects to him in the way that I'm acting or whatever. We have a hard cut to a big party.
Lipziger on Lipziger's body on a chair in the middle of a party.
Yeah, some strong Weekend at Bernie's kind of vibes here. But I mean, everybody knows he's dead, but he's still just the center of a party with a bunch of college students drinking, blasting music.
Not gonna lie, with the exception of college students, that's kind of how I want my funeral to be.
Yeah, it seems great. It's the kind of thing that on the face of it feels this is highly disrespectful or whatever, but it's no, it clearly, I mean, our only moment of seeing what Professor Lipziger was is he's rocking and rolling down in his lab, having a good time. He's clearly, a whimsical guy. He's wearing a lab coat with his name airbrushed on the back. He's he's not a
Like
serious
90s
kind of
airbrush.
guy.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think he would appreciate. I think, you know, I think Mark is not being sarcastic when he's like, I'm going to honor him in a way that he would like. I think that's genuinely what's happening here.
Right.
But, you know, obviously people outside of this group might not feel that way. You know, like if were Professor Lohman to walk in, he probably wouldn't see it that way.
No. Probably figures of authority would not see it that way. Desecration of a corpse and all that good stuff.
Yeah. But they are all dancing to do the twist, so it's like, you know, it's kind of carrying on. Like, you know, maybe this is his favorite song, we all know.
Right. That was his song.
Yeah. And
but
so,
we also
like,
get introduced to Jay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Mark is kind of in the, you know, he's holding court in the middle of the party. He's got his arm around like an anatomical skeleton. It's got a wig on it. And he's kind of like acting like this is his girlfriend. But yeah, we meet his roommate, Jay. And Jay he's really got eyes on this girl across the room. And he's asking
Andy.
Mark, like, what's her deal? Yeah, her name is Andy, and Jay's like, all right, well, you know, she's the future mother of my children. Like, I am like down bad for this girl.
Right.
And Mark's like, go talk to her then. Like, she's right over there. You should meet her if she's
Nah,
gonna.
she wouldn't like me. Yeah.
But Mark is like, he's encouraging, and like, you know, it's not like the bros like pressure, like he's like, no, I think she would like you. I think you're great, and what I know about her, I think she'd think you're cool. You should go talk to her. Like, it again, this feels like good. Like the dynamics here are, yeah, absolutely. And so Jay's like, okay, I will, and he goes over there, and he like has, you know, he gives her some pickup lines, but they're like good, like they're not trashy and shitty, and they're not like I can't remember what it, like. Oh, he compliments her in a couple ways, and then he calls her Mrs.
Butterman. That's his last name.
Yeah. She's like, my name's not Butterman, and he's like, not yet.
Might be.
You know, and she's like, okay, you got lines. Like, she's into it. You know, like, again, like it feels like he's not forcing himself on her. He's not pressuring her. He's just like, hey, I think you're cool, and I want to talk to you. And she's like, all right, let's talk.
Yep. There you go. Received.
Yeah. And in fact, she's like, this is my roommate. She introduces, what is her
Gretchen.
name? Like, Gretchen. And she's kind of playful, too. She's like, yeah, roommate. I'm the roommate and everything, but don't worry. I can sleep through anything. So she's like, you know, I'm going to be a bro here, too. Like, I'm
Right.
you know, feel, you know, if you guys are into it, like, I'm not going to stand in your way or whatever. So it just feels like
I believe the
everybody's
vibes are
having a good time.
immaculate, is what's
Absolutely,
happening here.
yeah. So it's great. Everybody seems like they're having a good time. And then, you know, Mark wants to propose a toast to Professor Lip. Everybody just calls him Lip.
Hey, Lip.
And he's like, you know, you were always the life of the party until now. And, you know, cut to...
I guess
cut
until
to,
now.
Yeah. And at that point is when the sort of, like, nerdy kid from earlier... like
Blaine.
Yeah, Blaine. He comes in, and he's like... He's coming to grab Mark because Professor Lohman wants to talk to him, and Mark's like, okay, cool, I'll set up a lunch with him for later this week. And he's like, no, he wants to see you right now, like in his office now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he's like, wait, is that Professor Lipsiger?
Nope,
And-
that's a lifelike wax dummy. That's what that is. That's not him at all.
Yeah, and he's like, but it looks so alive. And he's like, yeah.
No, totally. Gaslighting. That's what we're doing right now.
He's like, people say the same thing about you, Blaine.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So then we cut to Professor Lohman, who is in Professor Lipsiger's office. Or no, he's in his office, but he's got like a trunk full of Professor Lipsiger's effects.
Yeah.
And he's like digging through it, like he's just nosing into... Clearly, Professor Lipsiger was like the more, you know, recognized and appreciated like professor, and Lohman is like, I'm gonna step into this this vacuum, you know, I want to be and like
because he
picks
has
up
all the medals and all the awards.
And he's like putting them on. He's, you know, he's trying to like imagine a life where he could be like as respected as Professor Lipsiger. And I think that's when Mark comes in, and he's like, you know, Lohman's like, okay, I know you were working with him on some experiments. I want all of his notes. I want to know everything he was up to. There's grant money. We need to seal all of the money that he was pulling in. We need to make sure that it's secured and it continues to come to us. So I need to take over his projects. And Mark is smart enough to know that's not what's up here. He's trying to steal Lipsinger's work. So he's like, I don't have any of his. I just.
Yeah. Why would I have any of his work?
Yeah. And Lohman kind of gives him like the hard. He's basically like, I'm gonna make life difficult for you if you don't play ball with me. I could get you expelled. I could give you bad grades. I can fuck your shit up if you don't do what I want.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, you have this letter from Lip, and you know what? I'm actually gonna read that. And Mark tries to protest. He's like, no, that's for me. Mm-hmm. He's like, no. The letter's addressed to you. What's inside isn't. So
yeah, you can have the envelope. I'm gonna read the so he pulls out, and it's just like a little note that just says, "I'm counting on you, Lip." Yeah. So so Lohman's like, something. He's clearly he's letting you know that he wants you to do something, and I think you know what it is. And Mark kind of continues to just be real cagey about it or whatever. And Lohman's like, I want you back here in the morning, and I want answers. Right. So Mark just kind of leaves. No, there's no non-committal, nothing kind of agreed upon there. But when he gets outside, he notices there's something else in that envelope that Lohman didn't see.
Right, because Lohman is incompetent. He's acting very competent. He is not.
Yeah.
He missed this one important card.
Yep, it's like a key card. So Mark goes home and finds Jay asleep on the couch next to Andy. Like they've been watching a movie and they've all just kind of fallen asleep. So he wakes Jay up and he's like, "Come with me. We gotta go.
We gotta do a thing." Mm-hmm. And that thing is B&E, baby. Yep.
They end up at this like really creepy gothic mansion. Jay's not into it. He's like, "This place is scary. I don't want to go in here."
This is Lip's house. It's gonna be great. It's fine.
Yeah. And as you see, like Jay's like, we don't have keys. I'm not gonna go to jail for breaking and entering. And Mark's like, who said anything about breaking and entering? And immediately to them like
break and enter.
Yeah, they break it's like those basement windows that are up high. They smash through one of those, jump down into the basement, and start snooping around trying to figure out what Lip was talking about when he said, "I'm counting on you." And they end up finding he's got a computer. And it's locked out, but that key card, he swipes it, and that lets them in. Lets them in.
It lets them play Jeopardy.
Yeah. So it brings up a question. It's like it's something science that I can't remember exactly what it is, but
the answer is globular protein. That's a jizz joke, right? It feels like it has to be.
It may be. Yeah. Now that you say that. But Mark gets it right, which causes this little hatch in the wall to open up, and a chest rolls out, and the chest pops open, and inside there are two old journals.
Right, one's a little bit older than the other. Mm-hmm. But the first one's VFF. What's that about? Mm-hmm. Or VVF.
VVF, yeah. And it's in German, and he's like, "Well, I don't know German." Then he looks at the other one. And it appears to be the same journal, but translated into English.
Okay.
And they realize that these are the journals of Victor von
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So they're like, okay, so he's continuing Frankenstein's research down here?
That's wild. But of course the computer's like, hey, guess what? I got another question for you, so get your ass over here and answer it.
And this time it's Star Trek trivia.
Right. What episodes were did Spock or Kirk kill Spock? Mm-hmm. And for those of you who really care, it's Amok Time and the Enterprise incident.
But yeah, so I like that he's he's nerdy and different like Lipsinger is, and he knows he's
our people.
Yeah, and I think it's the dual thing that he knows Mark will get, Lohman might have come in and maybe gotten the first one, the sciencey question, but he's not cool enough to get the Star Trek one, So it's double layered there. But getting the second one right causes a much bigger secret hatch to open up, and there's a whole mad science lab.
Yeah.
classic hidden science lab. We gotta love it. But weirdly, like, you know, it has all the kind of like Frankenstein looking, you know, electrical equipment around the room. But in the center of the room, there's just like a giant ice cream freezer, like you would see it like a Baskin Robbins that like...
They even,
you know,
make a joke about the 31 or 32 flavors, how many ever it is.
Yeah, so they go over to it and they look in through the glass and it's like there's a guy in there. So they open the lid and there is the Frankenstein monster on ice in an ice cream fridge.
Jay's immediately like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. The smartest guy in any of these movies I think we've ever seen. He's just like, we're done here.
And yeah, so we cut to Jay trying to walk home while Mark is driving alongside him really slow in his car, like begging him, like, come on, man, like, we got to do this. Like, this is our chance. Jay's like, I've got company back at the house. Like, you pulled me away. Like, I'm not getting involved.
Right.
And so he does. He's not able. Mark's not able to convince him. He does go back home, but when he gets there, Andy is gone, and he's like, okay, well, I had company. And I think then we just cut to like later. Mark is just like reading Frankenstein's journals.
Yep. He's like, oh, this is basically Lip's entire research. This is all of it. He basically had the answers. He just didn't go there, which is weird that you wouldn't just do it.
Yeah, it's wild that, like, I mean, Lipsinger
maybe Lip was more ethical? Question mark.
Yeah, there's like a certain aspect to this that seems like he knew he was going to die, but there's no reason to think that he would have known that. Like, he just died
other than he was
in a
old.
classroom. Yeah. But like the I'm counting on you, here's a key card thing.
Right.
Like,
why would you do this?
Yeah.
The key card I get, though. Okay, I get that. But you're trying to keep your stuff secure.
Yeah.
But the whole writing out the message for I'm counting on you, why would he do that? Like, where was this hidden? He just had it in his desk? Was he just randomly thinking about Mark? Like, is he secretly in love with Mark and just couldn't bring himself to admit it? What happened?
Well, because the letter came from his lawyer, right? So, like, he had left this with his lawyer as, like, his will or whatever. But, like, I don't know why he would have predicted that he needed to have this in place. Yeah, it's very strange.
Right. This guy had foresight, I guess. I don't know. But yet not enough to just come out with the answer for the creature.
Yeah. So then we have, like, the next day, Mark is still trying to convince Jay to help him. And Jay is like an athletic trainer for the college football team. He's like, okay, the research is basically preventing like tissue rejection for any procedure where you're doing a transplant. Mm-hmm. So complete tissue acceptance of the body. Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of the holy grail, right? Yeah, and I mean, it again like kind of goes back to like what we often like lose sight of is that like Frankenstein is doing this experiment to like prolong life for others. You know, it's not about just making a monster or making new men or whatever. It's about finding ways to make the lives of regular humans better in some way. And like that feels like what's going on here. Like, I mean, if we could have universal transplants, that would make everyone's life so much better. So like we should do this. This could be great. And
pig organs for everybody.
And Jay's like, but what if he has like a criminal brain? And Mark's like, no, that's the movie. Like, Mary Shelley's novel is not like that, and that's like this reality is not that. Like,
yeah, he's just some guy, just bigger.
Yeah, and Jay's like, but I just want to be a regular doctor. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to change the world. I just want to do my thing. Nothing you can say is going to change that. And then Mark's like, I've got 3 words for you: Harvard Medical School.
That did it. He's like, ugh. I do like how he's like, I don't want to save lives. I just want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets drawn in with that Harvard Medical School. And he's like, ooh, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
Let's go to the mad science.
Yeah, so we cut straight from football practice to them hooking the monster up to all the science gear. Jay is like, I can't believe you convinced me to do this, but all right, let's do it. So they start flipping switches, sparks are flying, all the good stuff we love to see. The last bit of it is that like everything just fucking explodes. Like there's this huge explosion, blows out all the windows in the basement. Mark and Jay just like wake up in a pile of rubble, but they're both okay.
Right. But yet somehow the front of the house is still perfectly fine.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford to blow up the real thing. That's crazy.
Right, yeah. So they look over on the slab and the monster's not there, and they're like, oh no. But it's okay. He just got blown across the room. He's still there. He's fine.
But what are we going to do with this big-ass body? Because, the cops are on their way.
Yep, we hear sirens. Obviously the explosion is drawing some attention. So they managed, like, we don't see how they get him out of the house. We pretty much just cut to them wheeling him through the hallways of their dorm in a wheelchair.
Right. Very, very Reanimator of you guys. I feel like maybe the people who wrote and directed this were like, we saw a Reanimator, we want to try and do that with actual Frankenstein, but not as gory.
Yeah, make it for teens.
For kids. Make it a kids movie.
Yeah.
Reanimator, but a kids movie. Gosh. Anyway. But yeah, so they're just playing off like, it's just some dude who's kind of drunk, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they get him to their room, they throw him down on the bed, and now we have, in the foreground, Mark and Jay arguing about, like, this is a mess. What are we going to do now? And we see in the background, the monster eventually sits up in the bed, and like at some point in the conversation, Jay's like, and I mean, what are we going to do about him? And he turns, he's like, wait, oh shit, like, right. He's awake, like, yeah, so they both scream, then the monster screams,
they leave to go. They're like, oh, what are we going to do?
Yeah, so Mark and Jay go running out, and then they're like, oh, we got to, like, this is it's kind of nice, like, this is what happens in the novel. Like, Victor sees his creature, he runs away. But here, they run outside, and then they're like, no, we can't do that. Like, we're committed to this work. Like, let's see what's going on in there. So they go back inside, and Mark tries to talk to the monster in sort of, like, halting, we friends, and Jay's like, he's not Tarzan, like he's Frankenstein, right? And
maybe we should give him some food or something,
Yeah, we should give him some M&Ms like in E.T. And then they start arguing like, no, it was Reese's Pieces. And
yeah.
While they're arguing and just like nonsense, the monster just like falls face forward, just like face plants hard on the ground, shaking the whole dorm building, and then tries to get up, but it's like he's like lost control of his motor function, and they're like,
right,
what is going on? Like, he was fine a minute ago.
Right. Like, now you can't see him? That's weird.
Yeah, so like, okay, let's think logically. Okay, you've just woken up after 100 years. What do you need?
You need food.
The first thing they said, a woman, and he's like, well, yeah. Probably, but a shower, and he's like, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they're both like, yeah, food. That's the first thing. We'll get to the other stuff later. So,
right.
They like dig around.
By the way, is it me, or is this like a basically just a film about diabetes?
It kind of is in a lot of ways, yeah. Like,
we'll get there when we get there, but yes, it gets more relevant later on.
Yeah, so they like dig through all their snack stashes, and like it seems like the monster especially is into like candy bars. Yeah. So they feed him a bunch of candy, and they're like, okay, what do we do now? Like, let's do you like music? So they flip through the dial on the radio.
He's not a big fan of polka, we find out immediately.
Yeah.
Kind of iffy on metal.
Yeah. But then they get to like a rap song, and this is like, the classic sort of generic 80s rap that was in movies at the time. Coincidentally, it is like straight up like a rap song about Frankenstein. Like, it's all like, it's electric. It's clearly written for this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, if you didn't think it was, you're going to get it like 3 or 4 more times where it's clear that they're like, we're going to get our money's worth out of this one.
Right, yeah. But then we're going to cut to Loman, who's berating the cops. He's like, what happened here? What are you doing? Maybe you should get some donuts and be useful.
Yeah, this whole scene was wild to me. Like, imagine a world where just some college professor has enough, like, cultural cachet to, like, be a dick to the cops and, like, not get his ass beat. Like, that is not the world we live in anymore.
Not a dean, not a department head, He's just some guy, basically.
Yeah. And, he's like, just telling them what to do. Yeah, he sends them, he's like, you two are idiots, go get donuts, I don't even want to see you. And then one of the cops comes over with this, like, with one of the Frankenstein journals that's, like, severely burned, and he's like, this looks like it might be important. And he's like, well, do you think it might be more important to me or to you? And he like takes it away from them.
VVF, what's that about?
Yeah. And so he's like, keep digging. I want to know anything else valuable you find. And he takes the journal away. Meanwhile, the monster's feeling much better now that he's filled up on candy. Mark's like, he hands Jay a bucket and is like, all right,
urine sample time.
Urine sample. And Jay's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Is this where they fall asleep? Because, like, they fall asleep and he gets out and goes exploring the dorm.
Yeah, we have this section where like there's a bunch of like little short scenes. So like there's the urine sample joke, and then we have Loman waking Blaine up and is like, I need you to be my eyes and ears. I want you to snoop around on Mark and Jay, like find out anything you can find about what they're up to.
Right.
Like I need you to be my stooge, basically, and Blaine is into that idea. But then yes, we go back and Mark and Jay have fallen asleep. And the monster walks out into the hallway. And then we just get like sort of a montage of him just wandering. He sees like a girl in her room doing jazzercise or something. And he's like,
right. Okay, I dig that. Yeah. And then, so this is a co-ed dorm. Like, that seems interesting to me. I don't think, I've never really been in that experience.
Yeah. That wasn't an opportunity. Like that wasn't available when I was in college. And, I was in college much after this. Yeah, so it seems unlikely.
Or either that or regression had kicked in more silently.
Yeah, it could be. But he bumps it. There's like some kids playing basketball in the hallway. They're just not paying attention to him at all. No one seems to notice this giant monster.
Right. He's just some guy.
Yeah.
And he sneaks into a girl's bathroom, and they don't notice. They're just getting ready. She's like, here's the towel. The girl's like, hey, hand me a towel. And the other one's like, yeah, here. And they basically just pass it through him.
Yeah.
It's just like,
one girl's in the shower and the other one's like washing her face. So that neither one's paying attention. And I thought that bit was really great. Meanwhile, Andy knocks on Mark and Jay's door to thank Jay for the flowers. And, he was like, I didn't know if we'd see each other again since, you just kind of ran out on me and all that. Like, but Jay's like, I'm really sorry. I promise, like some weird stuff came up, but like, I'll be better. Like, I'm not gonna just like, abandon you all the time. And then suddenly him and Mark at the same time realize the monster's not in here. And they're like,
we gotta go.
Next time. Like, I am running out on you right now, but like it's different. Like, I promise I'm going to be better. So they take off running, and we see the monster has moved on. He's in like the common room where like people are watching some kind of sporting event.
The college football, I'm assuming. Because it is football.
And they're passing beers around, and somebody passes a beer over to the monster.
Kingston. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boy, I sure hope Kingston isn't just a token black character.
Kingston is probably the biggest misstep in this movie.
He's not exactly token because he has lines. He is a character. He is part of the crew. He just does nothing at the end for whatever reason. He's a little better than your, especially for the time period, your average token character. But he is, his name is Kingston, and he's got like a Jamaican accent. He's just kind of like, it's not a really bad, there are much worse fake Jamaican accents and things, but it just feels... Still ain't great.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not a huge failure, but it is a misstep in a movie that otherwise is doing pretty good, so that it's unfortunate.
Right.
But yeah, we will... it's like Kingston hands him the beer and then looks over and sees, and he's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, he's the first person to actually notice, like, there's a giant monster guy here in the door.
But immediately Mark and Jay just cover his mouth and pull him to the side. No one else notices.
Yeah. So they like drag him into the next room with the hand over his mouth still, and as soon as they let him go, he screams like he was just holding it, and then the monster screams too, which shakes the whole building. And then they're like, okay, Kingston, let's tell you what's going on. Like, we need your help. And so they explain it all, and we've got to we have to work together to find a cure. Professor Lip had like his research was getting along, but like there's something missing, and like the monster's alive, but he's not going to stay alive unless we find the missing piece to this puzzle.
It seems like he's not. Yeah, he's kind of slipping away, or his motor skills are declining at points. It's kind of like he's confused,
and
like diabetes. Anyway,
yeah. Cut to the monster playing with one of those things where you pull the little lever and it's like the cow says moo.
Right.
Is it Mark that's like, you should try the
chicken? That's my favorite.
Yeah, I like that. It was just silly, but I thought it was funny.
Right. But also the creature touches like one of those electricity plasma globes. He's like, "Mama." So like, it's very interesting that the whole mother is electricity thing still filters down through this. So
yeah, I like that too. So they're like, well, what are we gonna do with him while we're continuing our work? Like, he kind of sticks out, and they're like, well, I mean, we can't hide him, he's too big, but like, who says people have to notice him? We just have to make him fit in.
Right.
Cut to the thing that the 80s love more than anything else.
Clothing montage.
Yeah. It's great. Like they have him try on all these different outfits. Like he does like the 80s prep look. They get him in like a professorial sort of like tweed jacket with the elbow patches. He's a cowboy for a minute for some reason.
Why not?
They
settle on baseball core.
Yeah. They find like they try all these like really like stereo, like he's like a hippie for a minute, like tie-dye, he's doing like a peace sign. But yeah, finally it's just like a regular guy. Like they the main things is they're like, ooh, a turtleneck that covers up the neck bolts, that's a nice bonus. And then they're like, baseball cap that covers the flat top. Okay, great. Like, so we just have like a guy in just normal clothes, but that disguises all the important things.
But also, though, his skin's green, so let's do makeup on him. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah, we get a kind of a makeover that way as well, and now we just have them all walking through campus. Nobody notices. He's just a tall guy.
Right. We go to the lab where Mark's going to explain everything for us.
Mm-hmm. And the monster's occupying himself with a lab rabbit.
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, and like both Jay and Kingston look at Mark, and he's like, "What? Do you think I was going to start him on 60 Minutes or whatever?" Like, of course we're gonna watch some Looney Tunes. Yeah. And we see that Blaine is outside this classroom, like out in the quad, like trying to peek through the window, and they like pull the blinds so he can't see. And so it's like, all right, well, let's get to work. The first thing is we need a blood sample so we can try to figure out what's going on inside of him. Right. And
how do we keep him distracted?
Yeah, this guy can rip our arms out. Like, we can't just be like trying to stab him with a needle. So Mark has a great idea: beer. This is such a college student solution.
Let's get him drunk.
Yep. So they do. They give him several beers, and just cut to like later. He's like just absolutely like trashed. But they've got all the blood samples they need, and they're like, should we get a skin biopsy? I mean, like, let's just go nuts. Like, he's down for the count. This is the time.
But after a while, they kind of fall asleep too, and Loman approaches Mark and he's like, "My office, 5 minutes."
Yep. So Mark joins him in his office, and he's like, "All right, let's see the notes. I told you had till the next day, and I gave you a little more time even, but it's time. I need the notes. No notes, no graduate." Mark's like, he's still refusing to talk, and then Loman slams the journal on the table, and he's like, "Do you recognize this book?" And Mark's like, "No, I haven't seen that before." And he's like, "Well, we found it in Lip's blown up house."
Yeah, it's weird that happened.
Yeah, Mark's like, somebody blew up his house? Man, this is a rough week for Lip, huh? But yeah, still playing it cool. He's not going to say anything. He leaves. And we have outside, Jay is back at football practice, and the coach is very frustrated. He has a bad team. Everybody is not, they're very inept. Everybody's tripping over each other. It's no good. And so he looks up at the sky and is like, "Dear Please God, bring me one good player, just one. That would be enough. I could fix everything."
Right. And lo and behold, Mark shows up with the creature.
Yeah, as soon as the coach said that, I was like, all right, I know where this is going. We're gonna get an Air Bud here, but with the Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Mark goes over to Jay and he's like, the monster's awake. Everything seems okay right now. Let's go on a little test drive. Let's have him run the track, maybe lift some weights, and
immediately a football lands in front of the creature.
Mm-hmm. And he looks down and he picks it up and the whole football team is like, yeah, come on, dude, just throw us the ball. And he's just staring at it and they're miming how you throw a football, and he's just looks confused. But finally he gets the message and he throws the football Herman Munster style, across campus, just way outside of the football field. And we cut to Blaine sitting in front of a plate of spaghetti. The ball splats in the food, sending spaghetti sauce all over Blaine. Again, just such a Herman Munster gag. It's great. And the coach is like, get me that boy.
Right. All right, buddy, sign this piece of paper here. They take him to a room. Sign this piece of paper here, and you get a full college scholarship, a full ride, everything, man. You're good to go.
Yeah, and this is way back in the day when the NCAA stuff was real dicey, right. And they're like, we can get you some perks on the side. We might be able to get you a car.
We'll get you a Porsche.
So that was funny. And meanwhile, Jay and Mark are talking. Jay's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? This is inconspicuous. We're going to put him on the football team? And Mark's like, I mean, he's got a full ride.
Yeah.
But he's like, but we do, if he's on the football team, he has to be a student, and he's not. So we got to figure that out.
So we have to doctor the records, so let's do that. And boy, what name are we going to come up with this guy? Francis N. Stein. Frankenstein. Anyway.
Yeah, and we get a joke. I think Jay is like, it's funny, he doesn't look Jewish.
Yeah. Stein Jewish. Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess, why not?
But... So once they get that done, they head back to the room, and the monster has returned from signing his forms, and he's just hanging out with Kingston, and Kingston's like, he seems like he's getting sick again. It just doesn't seem good. So we need to figure this out quick. If it's going to keep happening, we don't want him to get much worse.
Right.
Meanwhile, Blaine has snuck into the lab and is trying to hack into the computer. This is the school lab, not Lipsinger's lab.
Right. Because that got blown up.
Yeah. But Mark comes in as well, and so Blaine manages to run and hide real quick without being seen. But he didn't sign out of the computer. And what did he leave on the table?
Flashlight,
yeah, an on flashlight sitting on the desk, and Mark's like, right. Okay, somebody's clearly snooping, so he immediately walks straight over to one single locker that's in this science lab. And
you knew Blaine was going to be in there.
Yeah, Blaine's in there.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? You doing good in there? Blaine's like, yeah, I just want to chill in here. Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to play it cool, and he's like, you need anything? You want a soda? And Blaine's like, no, I'm good. And he's like, all right, see you later. And he just closes the locker back on him, and as soon as he does, Blaine's like, oh,
I really could pee.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Why not?
So then we go back to Andy, her dorm room where, she's now, she had the flowers. Now she's got a room full of balloons and another apology card from Jay.
Right. She's like, geez, I don't know if I should be doing this. This guy's yanking me around.
Yeah.
But Gretchen's like, no, maybe you should, because I kind of want to date the big guy.
Yeah, his friend seems cool. Yeah, and so we cut to them everybody kind of all convening just coincidentally in the cafeteria. So we have is this the monster just wants nothing but pudding, and they're like, no, you can't just have pudding, you gotta eat real food, man. And he's like, no, he's just more pudding. I
need that sugar.
Yeah. And it's as he starts to slide his tray down, Mark grabs a couple and tries to put them back. You can't eat that many puddings. That's no good. And I think Andy and the roommate kind of notice the monster. They don't go talk to him yet, though. They just are watching him or whatever.
Right.
And then we go to football practice after lunch, and things aren't going so well because the monster is very strong, But that doesn't
not
mean
a
he's a
good
good
QB.
football player.
Yeah, he's not coordinated. He can't quite land it in anyone's arms. He just throws the thing forever.
Yeah, it's mostly just hitting people in the stands. That's the main thing
Yeah.
he can manage.
Right. But we get to where he tries to be like a tackle, or was it a tackle and he just like bowled the guy over? I feel like.
Yeah.
And then they were
Yeah,
like, okay, that's not going to work. You're just going to kill people.
Yeah, and then they try to get him to catch. He can't catch. But then they try to have him kick, and he can kick.
Right. As a matter of fact, he can kick that ball into Blaine's Alfredo because he decided to switch from spaghetti sauce or marinara.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we have a little later. I guess this must be some amount of like time has passed because we're back to another we're back at the cafeteria. I don't know if this is dinner or lunch the next day or whatever.
We've created a monster, because Frank is so popular.
Yeah, girls are walking by like, "Hey, Frankie," and he just kind of growls and waves back at them.
He's on the front page of the school newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Very inconspicuous.
But then Andy walks by and she's like, "All right, Jay, we can try this again. You've done this to me twice. I'm gonna give you
got one more."
Yeah, but on one condition. My roommate Gretchen's got a little bit of a thing for your friend Frankie here, and so it's gonna be a double date.
Right. That's it. That's the only way you get this third shot. Mm-hmm. And of course, he's like, "Fine, we'll do it. Let's do it."
Yep. So we cut straight to the date, and of course, the monster is like in that the monster phase where he just grunts and groans. That's all he can do. So Jay is really having to work hard to get around that and not have people be like, "What is his deal?"
And of course, Gretchen's just trying to ask Frank questions about himself.
Yeah, and Jay keeps interrupting, like, "Oh, he's an exchange student. He's from France. He doesn't speak English very well." And yeah, Jay's just doing everything he can to not let it be known how dumb, quote unquote, the monster is.
Right. Cut to Mark doing lab tests, and it's like, "Uh-oh, it looks like everything we're trying to get the creature to work, it's just rejecting everything." Mm-hmm. And he's probably going to be shutting down pretty soon if we don't find something to fix it with.
Yeah, this whole bit again is another thing where we're bouncing between a couple different plot lines. So we have the date, Mark in the lab, and we have Lohman who is trying to translate. He has the German Frankenstein journal, and he's trying to translate it
with a German to English translating book.
Yeah,
it looks like a novel though, so I think maybe somebody just got a paperback and was like, "That'll do."
Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah.
The best part in this bit is Frank eats some crab legs just whole, just chomping through the hard skeleton of the crab.
What the heck is he doing? And Jay's like, "Oh yeah, that's where all the nutrition is." And he tries to
that's how
mimic
they do it in France, and he's trying to do it, and he is not strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
And then we also have a bit where two jocks from the rival school come by, and they're like, "Oh, it's Frankie. He's the great hope or whatever." And it's like they try to start shit, and they even they're like Frank Stein, more like Frankenstein.
And Jay's like, "Oh, they're smarter than I thought."
Yeah,
figured that out.
But Jay tries to calm things down. He's just like, "Be cool. We're not trying to start any trouble. We're just here with our our girlfriends or whatever." He's
like, "Oh, we got a smart one and we got a smart one and a dumb one."
And Jay's like, "He's not dumb." And they're like, "No.
Oh no,
he's
you're
smart.
dumb.
You're trying to start shit with us. He's sitting there quietly. He's smart."
Right. And they act like they're going to beat Jay up.
Yeah, but then Frank stands up and he
grabs him by the throat and lifts him up.
And so the other one starts trying to punch him, and it has no they're both just going to town punching Frank, and it is doing nothing.
He picks him up and goes, "Throw." Throw.
Outside the restaurant, and they both just smash through the windshield or the window of the restaurant, land.
I like Jay's approval of, go ahead and throw him. Get him out of here.
Yeah. And then we cut to a little later. I don't know if this is a school dance or a dance club for teens or whatever, but they're at some place where there's loud music and everybody's dancing and stuff.
And Frank's voguing, man. He's busting it out.
Yeah, because like Gretchen's like, let's dance, and Jay's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get him out of this. And Frank's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and he's just like starts dancing, and it's the same Frankenstein rap song from earlier, but it's one of those things where like he starts and everybody's just dancing, and then everybody's like, wait, look at that guy, and the whole crowd like parts and makes a circle around Frankie, just going to town, just doing all these wild dance moves, and people are into it. He's having a great time.
And then Gretchen's like, hey, let me ride that guy real quick, and just jumps on him. So, good for them, I guess.
Yeah, they're having fun.
Yeah.
And then we see Mark has finally found a successful match, so he's figuring something out.
Right. But Lohman has finally figured out, wait, this is the journal of Victor von Frankenstein.
And so he calls Blaine in and is like, have you noticed anything new or different going on with Mark and Jay? And he's like, I mean, nothing but that giant guy that they've been hanging out with lately. He's like, giant tell me more about the giant guy. He's like, I mean, he's right here on the school paper for the front page. There's a picture of him. Have you not been paying attention? And Lohman's like, oh man, that is the Frankenstein monster. This is happening. I'm about to become rich and famous. I'm going to steal this right out from under Mark.
But then we're going to cut to Gretchen talking to Frank, and she's like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? And of course, as any young man would say, score.
Yeah, it's like the only words he's learned now are like, football related. He has throw and score. It's kind of, but, again, he says this to her, and she's
like, okay.
Yeah, I'm into that. I like that plan. So, like, everybody is, it's all about consent. Everybody's into it. It's
just be
great.
Open and honest. Communicate.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
We also see that Jay and Andy are kind of like they're reconnecting. They're getting close at the dance party as well. But then Mark rushes in and he's like, "All right, I need you and I need Frank. Like right now, I figured it out. I've got it all under control. We got to go now.
We got to give him more sugar."
Yeah, that's why the candy helped. It's all about sugar. So Jay is not happy, but he's like, okay, we got to take care of Frank. So they leave.
I guess
the club.
Andy's just kind of cool with it. She's like, fine, whatever, man. I guess this is it.
But as soon as they step outside, we see
Lohman busts them. The cops are here.
Lohman is there with the cops. Again, the cops are just like in his back pocket somehow. It's so weird. He's like, basically, you're under arrest. And they're like, for what? And he's like, breaking and entering,
tampering
arson,
with school files.
Yeah, like he's got a long list of things that they have absolutely 100% done. So, yes.
Right. So here's the offer, though. Either A, I go ahead and let this play out, or B, you give me Frank and like those notes, and that all goes away. You get to graduate. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of like, what can they do? They don't really have a choice here, so they reluctantly
proverbially
agree.
bend over the barrel, as they say, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So we have Mark and Jay walking home then, and
Mark, Jay's pissed at Mark. He's like, "What the fuck, man? Why did we do that? Like, we betrayed him."
Yeah, Mark's like, he's going to try to steal the research, but he doesn't know what I know. I have the solution. He has Frank, but Frank's nothing without what I know. Right. And Jay's like, you asshole, Frank's our friend. I'm not worried about the scientific discovery. I'm worried about Frank.
Right. You're just like Lohman. Mm-hmm. Oh, you just want the notoriety. And that kind of hits Mark. He's like, damn, I guess I kind of am. Yeah,
because he says, why did you even want to be a doctor in the first place, if not to help people?
Right. Which is funny coming from Jay and earlier. I don't want to save lives. I just want to be
Yeah, so we have we cut to the hospital where Lohman has like a full team of doctors and nurses and everything, investigating Frank, like looking into him and everything. Meanwhile, Jay, he's given up on Mark. He's like, if you're gonna do your science stuff, like fuck you, I'm gonna save Frank.
Right.
So and he bursts into Andy's room, and he's like, okay, so I need your help, but fuck, shit, how do I? Okay, there's a monster. Like he's
She's
trying
like,
to
just spit it out, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, you keep walking out on me, and I'm tired of it. I want the truth. I want to know what's really going on. And he's like, okay, I don't think there's a way that I can tell you this that's going to make sense, but will you trust me? Will you come with me? I will show you. Everything will make sense if you just follow me.
Right.
So, okay. Last chance.
Cut to Mark doing his research, and he's like, oh, let me check on this lab rat. And it's dead. He's like, oh, no. That's total tissue rejection right there, baby.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So meanwhile, Jay shows the girls, both Andy and Gretchen, all of the notes.
Holy shit, Frankenstein is Frankenstein.
Yeah, I love that they get a lot of mileage out of this. There's so many movies where it is like Frankenstein and no one ever notices, but I really like the way they play this in that no one notices until they do, and it's so stupid and obvious, and it's a really good gag.
Yeah.
And they immediately, there's a TV on behind them that, coincidentally goes right to a news report about how
Dr. Lohman will be presenting the actual Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, and they're like, shit, we gotta get on this. So Jay and Kingston and the girls, they talk about what's the plan? What do we do? So we know Lohman has Frank, Mark has the research, but we got to get it all together or Frank's in danger. And then Mark walks in and he's like, I want to help.
We got a secret weapon that they don't have.
We're smarter than them.
You're right, exactly. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, they're not wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. And because he's like, what I figured out, Frank is dying, so we have to get to him quick.
Right. His organs are shutting down effectively. Yeah. Immediately cut to Blaine, who is eating more spaghetti. Or no, what is it? It isn't an Italian dish. I feel like it's, we'll say spaghetti. Why not? Because that's probably what it was. But he's very suspicious about the air now. He's like, where's the football coming from?
Yeah, it's great. He's paranoid looking around as he's eating. And then all
he takes a sip of his orange juice. Boy, guess what you guys don't do on college campuses? Drink anything that's not covered.
Right. Yep. So he just collapses face first into his food again. A rule of threes here, perfectly played out.
Yep.
And then
turns out the boys roofied him.
Yep. So they throw him in the wheelchair that they had earlier, and they take him elsewhere where they start they're trying to interrogate him, but he's still kind of in a daze.
Right. So they're like, okay, I'll play the dad. Mark plays the dad. He's like, son, I'm very disappointed in you.
Yeah, he's doing the nasally voice thing, but in a deeper register.
Right.
And they're slowly getting information out of him that I've been helping Lohman, and he's got Frank at the I don't know, the
mental institution. I forget what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to show him off tomorrow.
Yeah. And at some point he's like, wait, is that you, Mom? And Jay's like, yes, honey. Yeah. So they managed to get everything they need, and then we cut back to the hospital where they really just lean into Lohman being evil here, where he's like, all right, he's laughing evil mad scientist laugh, and he's like, all right, it's time for the pain response test. The one we use on the puppies.
Right. Exactly. Oh, he's an evil guy, this one.
Yeah. And so we have our crew of heroes, the five of them. And Mark's like, all right, we're going to do this. Is everybody ready? And they're like, no. And he's like, all right, synchronized watches. Nope.
No.
None of the things are. And he's like, all right, let's do it. It's really good.
He's like, fuck it, we're doing this live.
Yeah. Yep. So we have Lohman leading Frank on a gurney through the hospital as
bunch of reporters.
Yeah, they're all asking questions. They get, they're taking pictures and everything. And so Lohman hands off the stretcher to some EMT guys standing at the back of an ambulance. They load Frank in, hop in.
We learn it's the boys. It's Jay and Mark.
Yep. So they have already gotten control of Frank. But that's not. I mean, this could be it. They just run off with Frank. End of story. All things done. But no. This is a classic '80s movie. We need some heist.
We need shenanigans.
Yeah. Lohman has to pay for his crimes. So
we call to the girls and hey, phase 2 starts now. Mm-hmm. By the way, Why could we not just have Kingston? Like, literally anywhere in this scene. Why not?
Yeah,
he's been with them the whole time, otherwise.
Yeah, he does just kind of disappear. Yeah, I don't know. It does, like, they could have, because this whole plan is super convoluted and like, silly. They could have
He literally could just distract the camera guy. Mm-hmm. Like, because we don't see what happens with Andy and Gretchen. We just know they are part of a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they could have, easily made him feel a little bit more useful. Yeah. Maybe, is he driving the ambulance?
Nope, that's Jay.
Jay's driving and Mark's taking care of Frank in the back? Okay.
Yeah. Or flip that. Mark is driving, Jay is taking care of Frank because he gets his hand crushed slightly.
Oh, yeah, because he's getting the injection, or like giving him the injection, and he's like squeezing his hand. Yeah. But yeah, so they know the solution now. They inject him with I guess insulin or sugar or whatever. Yeah,
it's insulin. Let's be real. That's literally what his problem is. He's just a diabetic.
Yeah.
Whatever Victor was doing, he just didn't think about the blood sugar.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't give him a pancreas. Was it pancreas or is it? Pancreas.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just have like a little later, Mark and Jay pull up to this school theater or whatever where this presentation is going to happen, and they roll a covered gurney out of the back of the ambulance, and it's like, that's interesting. What's going to happen? Yeah. We also see like Lohman is like getting his makeup done, like he's ready for his big moment.
Blaine comes in.
Yeah, and so then he comes out on stage for the press conference.
Oh no! Let's not skip how gross Lohman is, because Blaine's like, yeah, I think Mark and Jay they're planning something. There's going to do something today to cause some problems here, and like Lohman after he leaves, he's like, don't you think that young men are just so irresponsible to the younger lady? Because he's gross.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah. But that's comically evil, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would not call that a failing of the movie. They're making him look bad, and he should. Yeah. But yeah, so we have, Lohman's coming out. He's starting to give his speech. Then we see that Frank is still in the ambulance, but he gets out on his own. So whatever
he wants to see this.
Whatever Mark and Jay have on that stretcher, it's not Frank.
Right. But of course, the dean is also like, "Hey, listen." He gives his introduction to Lohman, and he's like, "Lohman, don't fuck with me here, man. This better
he
be the real
swears
deal."
This is a great thing, but yeah, I haven't seen any evidence yet, but I'm looking forward to it as well. So, the first Lohman opens a curtain to reveal his great work, and there's a sheet that he pulls back, and it's just like a pile of trash.
No, it's the gurney that held the monster. Like that's what he was presenting. It's like the table and the Frankenstein monster that he was creating.
Yeah, but there's just like trash on it and stuff.
It's straps. That's about it. Like it's like it is what he said, but also without the monster. So everyone just laughs at him. Yeah.
And he's he gets really defensive, and he's like, "Okay, well, let me show you the video. The video will explain everything." So he points up like there's a projection booth thing. The video starts playing, and it's Lohman like talking to the camera. This is the video he's planned out where he's like, "I'm going to reveal the Frankenstein monster or whatever," and then
here's the physical responses.
And we cut to old slapstick comedy videos.
Right. Oh, we forgot to mention that Andy and Gretchen are both film students, by the way. They doctored this.
Yeah, they're up in the projection booth, so that's their part of the plan. And so, yeah, again, the audience is like, practically laughing Lohman off the stage, and he just he tries to get he tries to get somebody to like stop the video, and they're like, we can't control it from down here. It's the projection booth. We can't do anything. So it just like keeps running, and it's like it cuts back to Lohman talking more, and then it cuts to like videos of like cows where like somebody has edited to make it look like they're talking and singing and stuff, like just really silly stuff, making Lohman look ridiculous.
Absolutely. And of course, he's embarrassed. The dean's fucking pissed. He's like, "Are you fucking? We called the press for this. We're gonna get lambasted, and like we're gonna get just reamed by these guys."
Yeah, and Lohman's like, "No, this isn't how it's supposed to go. Somebody's out to get me. Somebody's, they're framing me. They're messing it up." And then he points at Mark and Jay, who have come in. He's like, "It's them. They did this."
Yeah.
And they're like, We're so sorry to hear that you're clearly very unwell, Professor Lohman. We hope you get the mental health care that you need." Like,
he's like, "No, I've got one last thing. I actually know that we now have the Frankenstein monster. How he knew that after the other stuff, who knows? But we see the gurney and there's something on it."
Yep, he pulls back the sheet and there is Blaine.
So how'd they get Blaine back? Wait, what? Kingston could have done that. Like, literally any of this.
One quick little scene with that would have made him feel like he did something there at the end.
Right. Rude.
Yeah. So.
But Lohman sees the monster and he's like, "That's him. That's the monster."
Yeah, he's wandered into the back of the room at this point, like through the crowd. But of course, he's very tall.
Wait, everyone's like, "Wait, Francis Stein is Frankenstein? What kind of bullshit is that?"
Yeah. And Lohman's like, "All right, yeah, let's look at him. I promise this will solve everything." And the dean's like, "All right, yeah, what do you have to say, Francis?" And Mark and Jay are like, "No, he's a foreign exchange student. He doesn't speak English. He's from France." But they're doing the same thing from like the date night.
And Lohman's like, "He can't talk. He's a monster. He can't say words."
Yeah, and the dean's like, I don't care. I mean, French, English, Swahili, I don't care. Whatever he wants to speak. I just want to hear him talk. I want to hear something from him." And so there's a lot of tension. Everyone's just like silent and kind of staring, like no one knows what to do.
Well, I don't know about you, Professor. I'm not very articulate, Professor, but I can speak English and French, but a little rusty on my Swahili.
Yeah. And Mark and Jay both look at each other like, "What the fuck?" Like, and yeah, Lohman's like, "No, this is a trick. He's a monster. I swear he's a monster."
Right. And the dean's like, "All right, buddy, Lohman, it's time for you to go on your sabbatical, man. You need a break."
Yeah. Yeah. Frank's like, "I mean, I may be a bit of a monster on the gridiron, but I'd like to think I'm just a human like everyone else when I'm off the field." Yeah.
A sensitive modern man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so they're like, it's a forced sabbatical. They're gonna send Lohman away, and our heroes, and I think Kingston at this point just kind of pops back into the mix. He's just there.
He just pops back in. What the heck? They're like, "Oh, how we didn't know you were so intelligent, but it must have been the serum. What the shot we gave him restored his actual intelligence."
Yeah,
it's like he's like, "Yeah, I could speak French, German, English, Latin, and Greek." Mm-hmm. So he's a very smart creature.
Yeah. The serum brought his brain back up to full capacity or whatever. Then, so we just have, later on, they're in the lab, and Mark's like, "Man, I can't wait to turn in all this research, and we'll start winning all these awards."
Right. And Jay's like, "Wait, you're going to do what Lohman did? How dare you?"
Yeah, we're not going to turn Frank in. He's not an experiment. He's just Frank. He's our friend.
That's not the plan at all, silly.
Yeah, we just need a test subject. Look at this. And he holds up a rabbit, the rabbit
starts
from earlier.
barking?
Yeah, he's like, "Say hello to Rover." And
right.
Andy and Gretchen are like, "You guys are so weird."
Right, and I love how Frank's like, "They're not weird, they're scientists." I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's the closing line. Then we go to credits, which of course is the rap song again.
That was silly. I mean, there were some moments, but it wasn't as bad as many of the other things on Fox at the time were. So,
yeah, yeah, and I think this was like a TV movie even.
Yeah, it was on Fox. Yeah, the Fox TV, not News Network, because it wasn't around then. Shouldn't be around now, frankly. Anyway,
right.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a good time. Everybody is like, all the characters are, other than like the obvious villains, but everybody's having fun. They're like caring for each other. Like, Mark is learning lessons. He like learns to appreciate his friendship and not take advantage of Frank and all that. Like,
because there's a lot of parallels between him and Lohman. The only difference is he knows he has humanity and fun, probably taught to him by lip.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a Frankenstein story where we have Frankenstein stories where, like, the Frankenstein monster becomes more human as it goes. He learns to talk or whatever. But here, it's the mad scientist character that grows over the course of the movie. Like,
right.
Sure, Frank can talk at the end, but that's just because of the experiment. Like, he was always, intelligent. But Mark learns and grows and becomes a better scientist because of his interactions with Frank, and that's pretty cool.
This Herbert West learns to put the serum down, puts the regen away, or uses it in an actual different manner. But so that wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. Again, like, it's, I mean, I guess because it was on TV, it couldn't have anything, like, really egregious, like, Porky's level bad, but, like, again, they have these, like, relationships, there's, like, implication of like, sex happening between these characters, but they're all, like, consenting and involved and excited, and, like, they care about each other, and, like, the girls are as excited about dating the guys as vice versa.
Right.
It feels real in a way that, like, often, like, this is the time when, like, Revenge of the Nerds, and, like, we're going to break into the girls' dorm and, steal underwear, and, like, we'll try to watch them in the showers and all that. And, like, that's not this movie at all. Like, the women in this movie, they have agency, and they have,
they're
things
people
that they want.
They're not objects.
They're annoyed when Jay, like, Andy's like, Jay, I'm giving you another chance because I like you and I think you're cool, but you got to stop being a dick and running away. Like, but she's advocating for herself, and, like, I deserve better than that, and if you want to be with me, you have to treat me better. And, like, that's just unheard of for the time for like, this kind of movie.
Yeah. Wildly enough. It kind of says a lot about problems nowadays, but anyway. So, I mean, not bad. Good job on you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have any... So, obviously, we kind of liked it, but any other thoughts, Anthony?
I think that's it for this one. This is one that's kind of hard. I don't know that it's ever been put on DVD or anything. But
it's on YouTube, though.
There's VHS copies around, but, like, if you, it's free on YouTube. So you should. It's definitely worth checking out for that.
Yep. All right. So, we had some fun getting a higher education. Now let's get some culture in us. Maybe from that little glass vial.
Little glass vial.
But we're doing Repo, the genetic opera, next week.
Yes, this one, I feel like it's come up in conversation a couple of times on previous episodes, and it was like, it's time. Let's do it. So, I'm excited. This one's one I've not seen in a very long time, and I know it's weird as hell. And, so I'm really excited to get to this one. So,
I wonder if there'll be a problematic guy involved in the creation of this one. Anyway, spoiler.
So join us next week for that bit of craziness. I'm excited to get into that together.
Absolutely. All right, Anthony, where can they find us?
So you can find us on all the socials at The Frankencast. You can email us at thefrankencast@gmail.com. We're also over on YouTube. Of course, you can find us at patreon.com/thefrankencast, where there's all kinds of odds and ends and, different off the beaten path kind of stuff. So we'd love to have you over there. I think by the time this comes out, I think the whole book Kickstarter thing's probably winding down or over. But definitely keep an eye on Die Books, because even if you didn't do the Kickstarter, there's going to be more information about the book as it comes. So obviously I would love for everybody to check that out, because I'm really excited to share it with the world.
Yep, absolutely. Well, anything else we got to say about it?
I think that's it.
Thank you one more time, and to be continued.
Looks like you survived another episode. The Frankencast is a production of FCR Media. It's hosted by Anthony Bowman and Eric Velasquez. Follow us on Twitter at The Frankencast, or send us a letter at thefrankencast@gmail.com. Our cover art is by Amanda Keller. You can find her at Keller Illustrations on Instagram. Our theme music is by Vivek Abhishek. Thanks for listening.